With the shutdown now on track to last into the new year, the Trump administration is now giving out some advice to some of its furloughed workers. Now, one of those pieces of advice is, hey, if you have to pay rent, which a lot of us do, that's okay. Just ask your landlord if you can do some chores. I'm not kidding. This tweet here from the U.S. Office of Personnel Management. Now, this was tweeted out on yesterday. Contained advice to federal workers on how to explain their financial situation to creditors and landlords, including a sample letter with the suggestion that they offer to perform chores in exchange for rent payments. What? Whoa! That it says, I will keep in touch with you to keep you informed about my income status, and I would like to discuss with you the possibility of trading my services to perform maintenance, e.g. painting, carpentry work, in exchange for partial rent payments, one sample letter to a landlord read. Yeah, I'm sure that'll work. I mean, landlords are often the most understanding, especially the large corporate one. In fact, the more corporate the landlord is, the more understanding that they'll be. And the more they'll be willing to take your services in exchange for it. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding? This is the actual advice that the government is giving you. Sorry, we can't give you a paycheck because Donald Dumbass shut down the government over his border wall. But don't worry, we have a plan for you. You could just do this. And not only that, they had more advice. The agency also urged workers to, quote, please consult with your personal attorney for any required legal advice amid the partial government shutdown. Wait, because people who have to do chores for their landlord in order to make rent also happen to have a personal attorney on retainer. I mean, come on. Maybe they should just not tweet advice at all, because this advice is really bad. Now, of course, social media, the internet decided, hey, you know what? We're also going to jump into this because, of course, they do, right? And here's a couple of the responses that I want to share with you guys. Jeff Patterson says, speaking of one of those feds, it's nice of you to offer meaningless letters and suggest, while we have no pay coming in, that we incur legal expenses as well while we descend into debt. Thanks so much. Insanity5 tweets in, next FDA will tweet out, feds, low-cost nutritional food you can eat during the shutdown can be found in cat food, dog food, and samples at Costco. Please consult your personal chef as well. We'll be providing food pantry addresses shortly. Well, at least the food pantry addresses might actually help more than that ridiculous advice. Kiki Martin tweets something that's fairly obvious. Most people don't have a personal attorney, right? It's like they don't understand. It's like they don't get it. Whoever tweeted that out obviously does not understand a thing. And then she adds, that's 2018 speak for let them eat cake. Indeed. And finally, Patricia Clark Thomas says, yeah, I wonder how that's going to work for them. Of course, according to Trump, most of these workers are Democrats, so they don't count, right? Well, yeah, that's according to the president, who, again, it's his fault that we're in a shutdown right now because he's asking for $5 billion for the wall. And, I have an idea. How about Donald Trump stop this pointless shutdown and open the government? Look, it's fairly clear from the polling, taxpayers don't want that wall. It's not a priority for people. And even if he did get it, it wouldn't work anyway. In fact, I want to give you a poll here. According to a Business Insider poll, only 19% of respondents said a border wall would be the best use of $5 billion. That's how much he's asking for, right? And this is in response to an Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez tweet on this issue, by the way, that said that, hey, I know of a way that we can actually spend $5.7 billion, and it's not on Donald Trump's stupid wall. Now, there was an actual poll created because of this, and this poll said that 36% of respondents said that $5 billion would be better spent on healthcare. 30% said they would want the funds to go towards infrastructure. In total, 81% of respondents said the best use of the $5 billion would be either on healthcare, education, or infrastructure, not on a border wall. Which, by the way, that $5 billion that he's asking for and that he is, well, no, not asking for, that he's demanding and has shut down the government for, would not fund a very large portion of that wall at all. It would just fund basically a small portion of it. Okay? That whole wall is expected to cost anywhere between $20 to $70 billion for the whole thing. So here's what they do, right? Here's what he's doing. He's shutting down the government and hurting real people over a section of the wall. And you know what that is? It's dumb. It's really dumb. And not only that, but disastrous politically, as Trump is now back to his lowest approval rating since Charlottesville. People overwhelmingly are blaming him for the wall, or I'm sorry, for the shutdown. And of course, that's what he wanted. That's what he admitted. He said, Chuck, I'm happy to shut down this government over this wall. I'm happy to take the blame. Well, and guess what? Now you are, but you don't look so happy now, do you? Hey guys, hopefully you enjoyed that free video. Now I'm going to have to ask you a favor. Between the demonetization and the YouTube algorithm messing around with view counts, etc., we're having a hard time adjusting to the new YouTube reality, which is where you guys come in. See, we have a Patreon, patreon.com/TYTNation, set up to help us rely on you guys, the viewers, instead of big corporate ads. Look, you know the show. You know I'm not in favor of big corporations anyway. So help us transition away from relying on the ad model to pay the bills and sign up to be a patron, patreon.com/TYTNation. That goes a long way to help us keep the lights on. And you guys will know that you're supporting independent progressive media.